Messed up.
Okay, you're live.
I am live, so let's do this. All right, all right, all right. Good morning.
Hello,
Hello,
hello.
Loubna. Yes, so, for the last 2 weeks, we were sort of on a little bit of vacation. But we love to come here every week at 12:30 because we are here to help our career professionals up level in their career and be the best that they want to be. So if you know somebody who is working and are looking for promotion, if you know people who are looking for a new job, if you know people who just want a career pivot, if you know people who are not doing well, even if you're doing well in your career, we give you the tips and the tools of how to up level and be the best in your career. So I am going to turn on what I call the chat. I'm here in the comment section. And if you are watching from YouTube, and today, I'll see you on LinkedIn and Facebook and stuff like that. But if you're watching on the replay, put hashtag replay. And if you're watching right now, put hashtag live and talk to us. Let us know because this is a very, very great topic. And while I set up my Wisdom audio app, because I haven't done it yet, I'm supposed to be streaming live on Wisdom. I'm going to ask Dr. Loubna just to introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. This is Loubna Erraji. I'm an executive coach, and I work with people who are in career transition, those executives who work for Fortune 500 companies in multiple industries, who are feeling stuck in their career, who are sick and tired of getting passed over for promotion and pay raises. And what I do, I help them gain clarity, develop a roadmap, and get the confidence to move forward and get to the next level in their career. So yes, we're here for you. We're here to share tips, and please join us every Friday or almost every Friday, Yvonne and I, to listen to the career related tips.
Awesome, awesome. Because we say almost every Friday, because some Fridays, life happens, right? So some Fridays we might not be able to be here. And I see we have Dawn. Hi, Dawn. Dawn says, I'm delighted to be here. And let's let me show here. See Dawn, beautiful Dawn.
Hello,
Dawn.
Dawn.
I call her Dawn Digital because she does digital marketing. She's a great lady. I met her on one of the audio apps. Now I just configured so that I can talk also on Wisdom. So I'm just going to say a little bit about myself because some people might be watching or listening later on. They don't even know me, know what I do. But you can go on LinkedIn and click and find me. So I'm your executive career coach and LinkedIn business growth coach. I help a lot of people on LinkedIn because I was senior director of recruiting, sales, and proposals of one of Canada's premier firms called Mindwire. Great company. They treat people very, very well. So I had the opportunity to work with that organization. And we used to use LinkedIn a lot for more than 15 years. I know LinkedIn backend. I know the recruiter board. I understand what you need to do to stand out on LinkedIn. And now, since I started my career coaching business, I find that I can do a lot with LinkedIn to career coach, and I get a lot of my the people who work with me organically. How do you do that on a big platform on like LinkedIn? And this week I set up two service pages and my company, linking to my company page. So that was great. You can also do that. But that's not what we're talking about today. Today we are talking about ageism, right? And Beth Collier said, hello, ladies. Hi, Beth.
Hey,
Nice to
Jobeth,
see
how are
you.
you?
Yeah. So we're just going to dive right into it, because you can always check my LinkedIn and to see what I do. So let us dive into it, Dr. Loubna. Now, Dr. Loubna also has a PhD in, she does mindset coaching and career coaching too. So she knows about when the people come to her about ageism and I can't find a job because I think I'm too old. So how are we going to approach this today, Dr. Loubna? Let's take it away.
Yes, yes. So, yeah, what we're thinking, we're going to define what ageism is. And if you guys want more details, you can check Yvonne's article and newsletter that was published on LinkedIn as well. So, there are different types of ageism. So, basically, it's what we would call discrimination against age, and it's an unjustified way of telling people, you know what, you're too old for this job, or you're too old to do this. And ageism can happen at different levels. At the individual level, it can happen within the organization. It can happen if you're part of social networks and you're noticing that people might be discriminating against you, not sharing information, just making judgments that you don't fit, right? Because you're too old, because of your age. So that's how we would define it.
Yes, that's true, because people think that instead of thinking that you have wisdom to share, and we're going to talk about that later, because that is one of the ways you're going to be able to combat ageism, is to make sure that you don't refer to yourself as being old or anything like that. And right now I'm on the Wisdom app, and I am on two audio apps right now, the Wisdom, and sometimes I am on Clubhouse. I meet a lot of people on Clubhouse. And what I find that a lot of the people that I'm meeting think, they talk about people's age. I've been on stages and in the back chats, I hear people talking about old and all that stuff. But what happens is that when you're older, you have a lot of wisdom to share. And you have
Yes.
a lot of things that you can teach the younger folks within every organization. They should have a combination of people, old and young, or whatever you might want to call it, because it is very important. Listen, most of us have passed through at least two inflationary periods before. The reason why we don't freak out or worry about inflation is because some of us were here in the 90s when the banks went down, Enron, everybody, most people, you can go Google. And we were here in 2008 in the housing crash. So we have a lot of information that we can pass on to the young folks right now who were just born like 20 years ago and are worried about this time. So there's a lot of wisdom, and because we haven't reached the point where we're talking about how to combat, but this is one word that you need to take away today. If you're in the age group, the boomer, or I don't even know what the names are, but I only know boomer because I'm a boomer. And you have to put this one, whatever you have in your brain and call old, you have to put wisdom. Use the name wisdom. Use the word wisdom, because you have a lot of wisdom to share. And Jay says, my favorite coach is great to see you
Hi,
again.
Jay.
Jay's on YouTube watching right now. So guys, we are streaming from YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And in my hand, I have this saying, I'm on Wisdom Audio. So
Look at you.
people on Wisdom,
Look at you, Yvonne.
and it has nothing to do with age. It has something to do with wisdom, because since I retired last year, I learned 30 applications. So nobody can come and battle with me. I'm ready to ramble.
Yvonne, what you're doing and the way you're behaving is exactly what people should do. This is the way to combat ageism, and we'll talk about it in a few minutes.
One of the way to combat ageism, and we're going to
Yes.
talk about it, is your
Yeah,
energy.
we'll talk about that.
Because whether you're young or you're old, I'm not hiring you if you have low energy. Just know, and I want all the people on here, all the bloomers, all the Gen Z, Gen X, or whatever, to come on here and listen to me, because I'm not going to hire you if you do not have the energy. Energy is currency. And I just don't want to jump ahead too much. So, Dr. Loubna, you finished with your definition. What's the next thing you want to talk about?
Yes, so let's talk about how can that show up, right? Like you said, some people will be like, "Oh, I'm too old," whether you say it or whether you hear it from other people, or whether you see that younger colleagues are getting promoted and you're not, right? And it can be also reflected when older people are getting laid off. So there are a lot of things that are happening within the organization that can make people feel they're aged, right? And it's not the right thing to do. It's not, okay? It can be discriminating, but again, it's very difficult to prove that, right? Most of the time, it's difficult to prove age discrimination. And I would say that many people, like at least like more than 60 or 70% of people who are 40 or 45 and older have experienced that some way, right? So yeah.
Absolutely. And nowadays people are talking like from, come on, 40 years old, like 40, come on, 40 is the new 30, 50 is the new 40, and 60 is the new 50. So you got to go back 10 years, drop off 10 years, everybody, because that early. But listen, if you are a more, I need a name for it, right? A wiser person. I call it wise. If you're a wise person because you have wisdom, I'm saying drop off 10 years every time, because to tell you the truth, people are not dying, hardly dying. If you treat yourself well, you're not dying at 60 anymore. You're not dying at, when I was growing up, they say buy insurance until you're 65. No, if you bought the insurance that's called, what's it called? Term insurance, you'd have thrown away all your money, because it was up to 65. And at 65, you don't get nothing because it was term insurance. And all that money will be gone, and I didn't buy any, because 65, nobody's dying at 65 if you take care of yourself. And I have a LinkedIn user, and
we have a question there.
what I know.
Yeah.
What more arrogant than during an interview when potential employer goes saying, the thing is my team average age is 29, and that after putting the candidate through 3 interview rounds. I'm going to be able to deal with that, right? So we're going to talk about that, and I'm going to leave this one on this screen for a very long time, because you must have had that experience, right?
Yes. Yeah. So I mean, here you go. Do you really want to work for someone who talks like that? Do you think you're a good fit there? I mean, regardless of age, whether it's about you or about somebody else, right? And if you really love the company, I mean, how can you go around it? Because one of the things we talk about a lot, Yvonne and I, is around mindset. It depends what you want. It depends how you think about yourself. It depends how you position yourself. And even if they're telling you the average team age is 29 or 30 or whatever, it doesn't matter to you, because you can position yourself in a way that shows the wisdom, the maturity, the skills you're bringing, and the other perspective. And when you have teams that are heterogeneous, they get much longer than teams that are homogeneous. Okay, there are a lot of articles out there about this. So this is how I would think about it.
Exactly. And yes, you need homogeneous teams. And also the other thing, people talk about diversity and inclusion. And Dr. Loubna, one day we should have a live and talk about diversity and inclusion more. And I also stream it to wisdom, because I get a lot of people who listen to me on wisdom. The audio apps, people come on and they hop on and they listen and they stay long. Even more so than LinkedIn, and they will come, and because they want to interact with you. So I'm going to figure out how I can use the audio app and have people talking while you and I are talking. And the other thing
Sure.
too, I just got LinkedIn audio. So we're going to talk about that. We have a lot of things to do
Oh,
to
yes. We need
optimize.
to figure that out and,
Yes,
and
yes,
overcome our ageism, right?
yes. I don't
We'll
have
figure that out.
I don't have that at all. I already figured it out. So perhaps the next one is going to be that, because I have a
Let's do
name
that.
for the
Yes.
platform. It's going to be mentoring people. I'm going to be mentoring a lot of you folks who need this help, because it is very important. And one of the things that you're saying, Dr. Loubna, is that you have to get your mindset right. And I'm going to ask you to talk about that a little bit when we're talking about combating, because
Mhm.
what companies do not understand is that you need to have a mix of employees. You need to have some
Yeah.
older folks, you need to have some younger folks. And from the employer side, because you're getting that information, you're getting the wisdom from the older folks, and you're not getting the tension. Don't go and give people mental issues by treating them that they're too old or they're too young, because when you're looking for a job, they have those feelings themselves. And I always say to people, some people are saying you are too young for the job. When are you? And some people are saying you're too old for the job. So when are you going to be the right age? Listen, guys, age is just a number.
Exactly.
And
Yes.
I'm going to bring on a young man I met on oh gosh,
Clubhouse.
audio app. I love the audio app, so
Clubhouse. Clubhouse, right?
I love Clubhouse. I hope the guys
Yeah.
are
The
listening to
little
how I
kid.
love
The
Clubhouse.
little kid,
I
right?
love, I met a young guy called MT this week.
Mohammed, right?
Mohammed, I'm pouring into him. He's only 13.
Oh
He's
my God.
wiser than all of us,
Yes,
right?
yes,
And I need to
yes.
bring him on to LinkedIn to show people that you don't need to be too old. You
Yeah.
don't need to be too young. You need to know how to do the job. Has nothing to do with your age.
Yes.
You have
Again,
the right
attitude.
and to tell the truth, some older people behave too old. Well, if you're behaving old, you shouldn't be getting the job anyway, because you can't do the job. Stop behaving old, people. Stop behaving old. Go to the gym. If you really want that job, if you really want to up level, get your physical and right, because we talk
Yes.
about physical, we talk about the
Physical,
finance,
mental,
we talk about mental and everything.
emotional,
Physical,
everything.
okay? Because
Yeah.
the reason why you're not being hired is not that you don't have the wisdom, it's not that you don't have the skill set, it's because your action set is not there. You are not working on your physical so that you have the right energy to do the job. And can we just read what Beth said? Beth
Yes.
said that she's found that there's a concern for
Yeah.
those seasoned with a lot of experience are not capable or willing to use technology and open to change. It's usually labeled as not a team player or not a good fit to the culture or doesn't have the skill set. The experienced employee can bring so much history that can successfully help shape the future, so there's no repeat of mistakes. Plus we bring soft skills that are difficult to train. Bam.
Awesome. Awesome.
Soft
Awesome.
skills that are difficult to train, because what they should be doing with the older employees from the employer side is that they should be allowing you to duplicate yourself. I work with a company in Ottawa called MindWire. Go look it up. Great company, great people run it. They did not even think I was too old for the job, because they allowed me to duplicate myself, so that when I retired, for the 2 years before retirement, I work with management, and I design training programs to help train the younger ones. I was able to have my transferable skills transferred, right? Yes. And that is a
Yes.
great thing. So I can come into your company and tell you how to do it if you don't know how to do it, but you can't be in there telling people that they're too young or they're too old. Dr. Loubna, over to you.
Yes, so this is a great point. I mean, when you're looking for an employee anyway, you want somebody who's going to fit within the culture. Okay, we're not going to start judging people. Oh, they can do this, they cannot. But of course, as an employer, you want somebody who fits for the job that you need to fill, right? And if people are resistant to change, yeah, maybe you don't want to hire them. But I guess we're talking about people who are coming with great skill set, who are team players, who want to keep working. These are the people we want to talk about, right? If it's somebody who's resistant to change, I don't think I will be willing to hire them anyway, right? But if somebody who's open, who's bringing an additional skill set, who can help the business move forward, why not keep an open mind and see how they can fit within the organization, what type of skills they're bringing, what type of things they're bringing to allow the company to move forward. So, yeah.
And absolutely. And when it comes to if you're in a job right now and you're looking to career pivot, and we are kind of mixing it up because honestly, as the ideas come to my head, we are not writing from us, reading from a script. We're so good. Loubna and I have so much wisdom to share with you that we don't need no script, right? We don't need no script. So here's the thing. If you're an organization right now, running an organization, a manager in an organization, and you have somebody who has spent 5, 10 years with you, and you know that they would like to retire, I mean, you have to be discussing with HR, right? You should be working with those people. Or if you know the person is not going to retire or they want to be there maybe 5 years, you can't be thinking that the person is only going to be here 5 years, because the young people not staying with you 1 year either. They're staying with you
Yes.
6 freaking months and they're running away. They're going for the next job. And somebody who is with you for 5 years, who could spend another 3 or 4 years to help you up level your organization, what do? If you know that they have a mindset around learning new things, what does HR do? You sit down with the person, you map out, you help them. You are a
Yes.
business. You have taken 5 years or 6 years of this person's life and they have contributed and you made money. And are you saying that at the last 3 or so years, you're just going to throw them away? Where's the loyalty? Right? So you
Yes.
should be helping these people. You should be saying, oh, there's a new program and this is what we're going to do to help to train you. But guess what? Companies, a lot of them don't want to train you. They don't want to do no training. You're young, you're in an
Yes.
organization, they throw you in. You're
I love
old, you're
this.
in the organization, they throw you out.
I love this, Yvonne, because I mean, now after the pandemic, one of the things we've been hearing more and more, finally, some organizations are waking up and understanding that people can burn out. They're understanding the importance of health and well being, right? And the other thing, they're finally understanding that they need to offer something that's called career management and performance management, right? There are some companies that are doing a great job telling people and sharing with people as soon as they've gone through the onboarding process, asking them about their vision for the next 5 years, putting plans together with them, right? And when you do that as a company, it's going to decrease the turnover rate and it's going to save you a lot of money, because when you look at the cost of turnover, it's insane. And a lot of companies are not thinking about that. They're not thinking about the cost of succession. They're not even considering succession planning. So there are a lot of things to think about when you're managing your workforce, right? So as an employer, it's important to sit down and see how you can leverage the skills of everyone you have there, given that they're flexible, they're agile, they can adapt to change, and if you train them, they're going to give you the best they can. So there are multiple things that need to be considered.
So hear this, the impact, we're talking about the impact on the person's lives, right? And we are talking also about how the companies are treating them. And also, if you're an employee, the impact on your life can be big, because at certain age, if everybody's going to want to treat you like that, it means it's going to be harder to find a job. It means that Not that you can't do the job, but it's going to be more difficult because it's going to affect your income. It's going to affect, and when you don't have income, it's going to affect your family. It's going to family
Yes.
life. And maybe you say, I want to retire in 5 years. You were not ready yet, but now people are treating you like, what I call it again, like a lame duck, right? You're in a lame duck session. They put you in lame duck mode before you wanted to go into lame duck mode, and that's not good. I just wanted to stop by saying, right now I'm also streaming, as I said, on Wisdom. And what I did
Oh,
a while ago, I turned on to ask a guest to join. So if a guest joins us, that would be great because we could just get them to talk right while they're here. Guys,
guys, look at Yvonne. Look at Yvonne. Okay, there's no ageism in the
there's no,
dictionary. There
there's
is
no
not.
ageism in the dictionary for me, guys, because I learned 30 apps during the pandemic. I retired and
I
I
love
learned 30
it.
apps. I learned to do my own landing pages. I learned to do my own web pages. I learned to do Wisdom. I learned to
Yes,
use MailChimp. Learned to use Canva and Canva Pro. A lot of stuff. You can do it too. And what we're going to talk about in the next segment when we talk about how to overcome, this
yes,
is what I'm going to teach all my friends how to overcome, because I'm going to tell you what you can do. Because nowadays, everything learning is free, and you should be constantly and ever learning. If you really want to stay viable, you should be constantly and ever learning. And I'm going to highlight something like Beth. And I so thank you,
yes,
Beth, for joining us today. Because guess what?
yes,
You're very engaging, and we love that. We love when you ask questions. Investment into the frontline and frontline leaders is critical to the sustainable
yes,
success of any organization and communities as a whole. And Beth, I don't know if we're connected on LinkedIn, but you can connect with us. Connect
yes,
with Loubna and connect with me. I don't even know how our little stuff not showing up on LinkedIn where we are here. So connect with Dr. Loubna and Loubna Erraji and Yvonne Robinson on LinkedIn, because it would be nice if we engage. And Loubna
yes,
posts very frequently, more frequently nowadays on LinkedIn. And I do postings on LinkedIn. Yesterday, I just wrote my newsletter about ageism on LinkedIn, because this week we decide that what we're going to focus some weeks on certain topics, because we have to schedule, we have to use our time effectively and efficiently. So we really thank you for that. And if you're on Wisdom Audio right now, would like to talk to Dr. Loubna and Yvonne Robinson, you don't have to be on LinkedIn. You can just touch that little sleeping puppy, I don't know what they call that, and join, because we're ready to talk to you. So there you go. And I have another phone right here. The next time we do this, I'm going to stream it also to
oh,
the other
you're
app.
hilarious, Yvonne. You are
Yeah, I'm
hilarious.
setting up right here, guys. So
Look
Dr.
at
Loubna,
that.
I think we're going to spend a lot of time talking about the how to overcome this,
Yes,
because I
let's
think
talk
people
about
need
that.
solutions, right?
Yes.
So
So
how
we
do you overcome ageism? Because to tell the truth, I'm older than you, and I know that because we spoke before. I'm a little older than you, but not I'm not old. I'm wise, right? So I share a lot of wisdom everywhere I go.
You were born before me. How about that? You were born before. That's it.
I was born before you. We're going
That's
to
it.
that
How
movement.
about we say it this
I
way?
was born before you, and you
Yeah.
came after. I'm giving wisdom, I'm sharing wisdom. You're also sharing wisdom, because we want to leave a legacy. We want to help people. We want
Yes.
to be able to inspire people to be the best that they can be in their career. So,
Yeah.
what should people do?
So let's think about the employer's perspective. Okay, as an organization, I mean, you can be more inclusive, right? More inclusive when it comes to events, to meetings, to the language that's used, right? You can have a hiring process that's more reassuring. And like we said earlier, like talking about the vision, talking about what can be done next, discussing the performance plan and the career plan. You can think about promoting from within instead of bringing outsiders. So there are a lot of things that can be done to overcome this and make people feel better, right? And I'm not even talking about the retirement plans or the healthcare plans. I mean, those should be a given, right? And then when it comes to you as an employee, to you as someone who's taking a proactive approach to your career, that's what the focus should be. Okay, we talked about mindset, we talked about having a positive attitude, and you're not going to sit there and complain because people are saying, oh, you're much older, we're not going to hire you. Want something, you're going to go after it. You want to stay in the workplace, think about options, plan your career, talk to people who can help you structure that. You can do it internally within your organization if you have the opportunity. If not, you can talk to people around you. You can get mentors, sponsors, or you get people, outsiders, who can coach you on how to think about what's next. When one door closes, there are many doors that open. And that's why the mindset is super, super important to keep that type of perspective.
Awesome, awesome. And so we are actually structuring this in two parts. We're talking about what the organizations can do. We're talking about what the employee you can do. So as I'm thinking, a lot of times when I get job descriptions from companies, they used to talk about transfer, knowledge transfer. That's a good thing for people to put on their resume, how they worked with others to transfer knowledge when they're leaving from one job to the other. So I'm saying to organizations, if you have these great people in your organization that has so much knowledge of your organization, why wouldn't you keep them so that you can get the knowledge transferred back into your organization? If you don't do that, you're doing a dumb thing. Because when people work with you for 5 or 6 or 10 years, even I would say maybe even after 3 years, because I call it the first year. Anybody who goes to a job and leave within the first year, you really haven't contributed anything. You really haven't learned anything, because the first 6 months, you are learning the modus operandi of the organization, right? You are learning how they do things, because every company does things differently. Every company. So when you get a job and people are saying, oh, I got the job and stuff like that, or if you're hiring people just to jump in and hit the ground running, they call it, you only hire consultants to hit the ground running. And let me explain that. Yeah. When you hire a consultant, it's because you have a particular thing to fill right now. It's a short-term job. You just want them to get their knowledge. You're getting them for their knowledge. When you hire an employee, you should have a system set up for training that employee, because we hire people who are trainable, right? When you hire a consultant, you're not really hiring somebody for a trainable. You're hiring somebody to come in and train you. And that is what a lot of organization doesn't understand in hiring. You have to determine who you are hiring and what you're looking for. If you're looking for somebody to help you to solve some particular problems immediately, you're looking for a consultant. I used to work with thousands of consultants. I work with people who earn more than $500,000 a year because they are in the consulting area. A lot of companies don't just pay $500,000 a year for an employee. But I also work with employees that are looking for jobs, that when you get them in your organization, you should set up that training program to train them. So stop trying to write job descriptions for Jesus, because Jesus doesn't exist. Right? I mean, like, you can hire Jesus.
To be hired.
To be hired. Jesus is there, but not to be hired for your job. Jesus knows everything, guys. Right? You have a description, and yet you want a whole long wastebasket list of things for the person to do. All that doesn't exist in one person, right? You are going to hire for attitude, you're going to hire for some skills, and you're going to train for some skills. So that is number one for the company. Make sure that when you're hiring, you know what you are hiring for. I need to do a whole another thing for companies. Honest to God, I'm so passionate about that part. I need to do a whole other one for companies, because a lot of hiring people don't know what you're looking for. Right? Yeah. So you need to know what you are looking for, and stop with the laundry list, because Jesus is not available. Okay. All right, so we keep going. All right, so that is on the employer side. You should, when you have I call a wise person or somebody who is going up in age, and you should be planning for their exit. You should also plan for them to transfer some of that knowledge to your organization, and don't send them out. Don't put them on the lame duck session. That's not what they're there for. They're loyal to you. Be loyal to them. Treat people well, and your organization will grow. Okay, so that's the company. Today wasn't really for the company, but I had to stick that one in there. So we want to talk about on the employee side. The first thing, as Dr. Loubna said, fix that mindset. Whether you're young or whether you're old, fix that mindset, because your mindset is 80% of what you do. And if you think you're too old to get the job, you are too old. Just listen to this. If you think you're too young to get the job, you are too young. Your mindset. Your mindset, your tool set, which includes your skill set and your action set, is what is going to take you from point A to point B. But 80% is your mindset. And I'm telling you, I am sure 100%. If you think you're not getting the job, you're not getting the job, okay? If you think you're not getting the job before you go for the interview, come talk to me and Dr. Loubna, because you need, especially if you're an older person. If you're an older person and you're looking for a job right now, what is the word you gave me a while ago, Dr. Loubna? I'm not to say older. What's the word that we are coining for this today? We don't want to say older person. We would want to say something, right?
You say you were born before me. That's what I said, right?
Right now,
more mature.
If you're a more mature person, right, with a lot of wisdom, and you're looking for a job right now and can't find one and sit down and fretting and worried about it, what have you done differently than you have done in the past? What have you done differently for the last 3 months to find that job? Have you hired a career coach? Somebody, not just any old body, somebody who understands, who have been there, who have career pivoted at 50 years old like me. I pivoted at 50 years old and spent 15 years there and got promoted to one of they created senior director of sales, recruiting, and proposals for me.
Ooh, look at that.
They created the position. There was no senior director. There just was director and VP. No, the VP couldn't give me her job for sure. She created one between me and the next level for me.
Here you go.
What are you doing to get your next job? What are you doing to up level? What are you just sitting down and complaining that you're too old? It's your mindset. And also your tool set and your action set. Your tool set is going to involve the skills and abilities that you have, right? Your skill set and the things that you're going to work with. And what are the other things that you're working with? Is the company new technologies? Do you just sit down and say, I'm old, I can't learn it, or you go try? Because tools are not only your skill sets, but is it the technology and the things that you're working with? Guys, you're not too old to do anything, right? Dr. Loubna, do you want to add something to this?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's about what you believe. It's about how you take action. It's about how you position yourself. And the combination of everything is going to help you actually have some type of personal brand, I would say, right? And some type of perception that will make people either believe that you're great hire or not. And being hired is not the only thing. It's not the only opportunity. You know, I sometimes work with people who are working for corporations and smaller companies, and then they realize that they have so much more impact they want to make in this world. And we start brainstorming what could be next for them. And many people can start their own company. There are so many things. But again, it's about knowing exactly what you want, what makes you happy, and putting all the dots together, you know, connecting the dots. And that's usually what Yvonne and I help people do, right? We have wisdom, we have maturity to see what might be next for you, right? And
Exactly,
again, you
exactly.
don't want to feel that you're stuck in one place. There are many opportunities.
Listen, friends, you can't be stuck. There's nothing that is called stuck. Okay? Even
Yeah.
you can't be stuck, right? So Dr. Loubna is saying you can't be stuck, which is true because we have to say we can't be stuck. We're not going to be stuck in anything. If you want something, you got to go for it. And as we say, it is your mindset because you have to know that you can achieve it. Nowadays, in the digital age, if you want to do something, if you have wisdom to share, a lot of the businesses now that small businesses entrepreneurs are doing, they are selling. One of the ways to make, somebody would say, $1 million is to produce digital assets. Right now what we are doing, this is digital asset, this is content. We are giving you information, you can do all kinds of things. There is a lot of free platforms. There was never any time in history that there was
Yeah.
ways it calls it when you're marketing, they talk about product, price, promotion, and place. There have never been as many places that you can go and sell your product as today. The audio apps came about during COVID. One of the great things of COVID, the pandemic,
Yes.
is because there have been a proliferation of audio apps. There are some, and there's, I wouldn't even call them here right now because I'm on wisdom and I don't want people to be competing with this app I'm working with right now. But there are many, right? And there are new ones coming out that I've joined where you can go and promote your business. You have to be omnipresent, but how you're going to be omnipresent on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, Wisdom Audio, Breakout Audio, Twitter Spaces, Twitter. There are so many places that you can go and market your business and your digital assets. You can write books. People can teach you how to write books, and you go and market it on Facebook, on Wisdom,
Yes.
everywhere. So there has never been an easier time to do business. So tell me
Mm.
right, if you are
Exactly.
looking to career pivot into business, into entrepreneurship, and Loubna and I are going to have Loubna, I hope we're taking notes. We're going to have another one to tell people how to pivot, right? If you're going to pivot
Yeah.
into entrepreneurship, there is a way. But Loubna, I'm going to ask you, for the career professional right now who is in a company and saying, okay, I still feel old and all that, what can I practically do with my resume or anything like that? I'm looking for a job. First of all, if I have a resume and I'm looking for a job, what can I actually do in order to be more confident with my resume? Let us deal with that one first.
So you know what? Yes, this is a question I get really often, and there are different ways to position that, right? When we work with people on developing their value proposition and packaging themselves, I mean, there are different ways to show how much experience you're bringing to the table without, sharing your age. Okay, sometimes like with the education that might be the problem. Some people who get their degree, I don't know, in the 60s or 70s or even 90s, right? But that's okay. We don't need to show all the dates. We don't need to give too much information. There are ways to position you as the best candidate, and usually we can say things like, oh, you know what, I am someone, okay, this is my expertise and I have X number of years, for example, 20 plus years, 25 plus years of experience doing X, Y, and Z, right? Without showing people your age. And I know, like many people I've worked with, they had this concern. Like I work with people who are in their 60s as well, right? And they've been concerned with ageism, but there's always a way to go around that. There's always a way. And again, I cannot stress this out too much. It's everything that's in here. Okay, when you guys start feeling confident, when you know that That's what you want. And you will go after it. It changes everything. Okay. So again, we stress that out in all of our conversations. Mindset, skill set, and action set. And these are
I'm
all
gonna ask.
things we help
I'm
people
gonna add.
with. So
I'm gonna
yeah,
add something which is very
please.
practical because in Canada you have to show dates. They're not gonna hire you. You're gonna have to show
Oh
dates.
no,
So
no,
you
you
have.
show dates, but you don't
Yeah.
have no.
So
Yvonne, we
I'm
show
just gonna.
dates, but I'm saying
I just wanted to
you
explain it
don't
out a
need
little
to
bit for the
show.
Canadians. I just wanted to
No,
explain it
no,
out
we
a little.
show dates too. No, we show dates on the resume in the US and elsewhere. That's not what
Oh,
I'm
okay.
saying, but sometimes people can go back like 30 years showing all the
That's what
positions
I
they
was.
have held.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, we
yeah.
don't need to do
I'm
that
gonna
all the
explain that
time.
part.
If it's some, yeah, no, no, no. That's what I
Yeah,
meant. If it's
I'm just
something
gonna
that's
explain that.
relevant,
Yeah, yeah. I'm
yes.
just going to
No,
explain that
thank
part a
you.
little bit
Thank you.
clearly. Yeah, I know. Okay, so I thought in the beginning you were saying the dates. I just wanted you to explain that out a little bit more because some people might think, because there are some people on LinkedIn that are telling people not to put dates, right? And because in Canada, I know you got in different countries differently, you got to put those dates. But as you say in the end there, what you do, guys, you don't have to put your whole work history on your resume. It's nobody's looking for your work
Exactly.
history. We don't care about your work history, okay? We care about selected professional experience. So for every
Yes.
job, that is why I am in the zone or in the thought process that think that say you should customize your resume for every job. And you know why? Because if you are applying for a job, and it happened to me with a young lady that I helped, if you are applying for a job and it is asking for a particular skill set that is going to help you to get their job, and you didn't have it 10 years ago, there's no point putting your whole work history on your resume. 10 years ago, nobody cares, right? So that is because if you do that and you're applying for that job, that will age you, right? If you say, I worked in 1990, 1987, right? This job
Yeah.
1987, but that job 1987 has no relevance to what you're doing now. The technologies change and everything. So what you do, you put what is relevant for that job, and you can, there's a way to do it. It's not so easy just to explain it on like a call, like on like a call like this, because what we do, we actually walk you through your resume and we help you to show you how to customize your resume for these jobs. The one other thing that I would like to add is that I worked with a young lady, and even though the job that she had was more than 10 years old, it was about 10 years old, and she worked for that company for 5 years. That is a job that was going to make her get the job because that was the experience. And we had to do something. We
Mhm.
had to clip some of the work that she's been doing now, and we had to add that one job. So I would say if it is
Yes.
within the last 15 years, if you are 30, if you have worked 30 years and the jobs are say within the last 15 years, it's okay to have them on it. But then you're going to cut out some things and you're going to customize those jobs to match
Yeah.
this job that you are applying for. Because nobody's hiring you for the old job, they're hiring you for the new job. That is
Exactly.
totally something I
And
wanted to. Yeah, I didn't want them to go
and
away and
Yvonne,
said don't put this,
no,
right?
no,
Because
you're right. You're right. And thank you for clarifying this. And sometimes if there's something like really relevant, you want people to know that happened X years ago, there's a way of putting that on the resume. Okay. There's always a way to refine and fix your resume. So just like,
absolutely.
do you really want it? Yeah. So that's not the problem at all. Yeah. So
Absolutely. And I think a way that we're going to give you one tip, but we're not going to give you everything today because, you know, there are some things that you're going to have to come one and one for. But a way to, if it is something that is really critical to the job and you did it years ago, like 40 years ago, and you don't want to put it, it's called your executive summary, right? Your resume
yes.
summary
Yeah.
is your I would call it your career glory or something like it is the glory of your resume. It's like an executive summary. When they read that, sometimes they don't even have to go further. So
Yes.
instead of putting an
Yep.
objective, which nobody use, that is gonna date
Oh, no,
you.
no,
Nobody puts objective. Objective is
no.
what you want. Your summary is
And nobody
what
cares. Nobody cares
cares about
about
your
what you
objective.
want.
Who cares?
So,
They're hiring you guys. They don't really care about. It's sad, but they don't care about
sorry.
what you want. My goal and my objective of getting this job is no. Your resume is about how you can help them to solve their problems. I say that a lot of times. How
Yes.
you can help
Yes.
them
Yes.
solve their problems. So your executive
Exactly.
summary is going to be about what I've done for whom and what the results are, rather than I want
Yes.
this or I want this job because etc. 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 Dr. Loubna, over to you.
Exactly. That will be the value proposition, the whole work of a value proposition and packaging and positioning. That's what we put in the executive summary. But again, like you said, Yvonne, that's going to be another topic for another
Oh
day.
my goodness. We have
Okay.
so much. We have so much to share with you. Dr. Loubna, who is also a mindset coach and a career coach. Me, I'm a career coach, business coach, right? And the first thing we do with you, we clarify, we do your career clarity to clarify your vision and mission and
Yes.
what you want to do, and teach you how to use frameworks to map out if you're career pivoting. If you're going from career to
Mhm.
business, we help you to find your zone of genius, all that stuff that we
Yes.
do. So if you want to get in touch with Dr. Loubna Erraji, she's on Facebook, she's on Instagram, and she's on LinkedIn. As far as I know, Dr. Loubna, and she also have a website. And maybe if I go and put the banners, I can show them yours, right?
Yes. Thank you.
www.advancedconsulting.com, right? And for me, I'm making it easy for you. I have a 10K digital business card. It's like a link tree, but better than link tree. I should even call the word link tree here. It's called meetcoachyvonne.com. If you go meetcoachyvonne.com in any type it anywhere in any browser, it is gonna bring up my 10K digital business card. And on that card it has so much good stuff, guys. If you want one of those, you can let me know if you want one of those, because it is not expensive, and it's a card that the where I got it from, they maintain it for you. If you want to put different links, if you want to put your payment links on it. So it's called my 10K digital business card. Meetcoachyvonne.com. If you go there, you click on it. What I've done this week, I've added my business services and career services. If you click on that, it takes you to a link where you go, and there's some gold buttons. I created those. Some gold buttons. I'm so proud of it, which you can actually buy my ebook of how to find a job. You can actually buy my, and it's so cheap, like $20. $20, and I give you the roadmap to finding a job if you want to do it on your own. If you want one-on-one
Oh
coaching,
my
you have
God.
to talk to Luke and myself to get that one-on-one coaching, because what we do, we guide you. And we not only just coach you and guide you, when we're done with you, you get information on how to get promoted and everything, because when we do that initial clarity session, it's packed with a lot of information about your mindset, about how to be confident and all that stuff. Listen, we are not joking, guys. We don't joke around with this thing, because where
Don't
we are in
joke.
life, no, we don't joke. We're not jokers. We we are not in the card packs, right? If we're in there, we are queens, right? I shouldn't even say that. We're in the card pack,
Yeah.
but we are the queen. We're not the joker. We don't mess around. We give you the information that you need to up level and be the best that you can be in your career. Oh, do you have anything to add to that, Dr. Loubna?
Yes, I just want to show people how you are the proof that everything is possible, even after, yeah, you and I, but you are like so tech savvy, doing those e-business cards and understanding all the technology behind so many things. And yeah, guys, nothing stops. The learning doesn't stop. So keep yourself in shape physically, mentally, emotionally, and don't sit there as a victim telling everyone around, oh my God, I'm a victim of ageism. I'm not saying it's not happening, okay? I'm not disregarding anything, But when you decide you want something, you go after it. So that's the message.
The only
And thank you for
way,
yeah.
the only way, Dr. Loubna, ageism can affect our people is because of
Yeah.
them. It's because you sit down and say, I'm too old. It's because you sit down and say, I can't get
Yeah.
this job, right? The only reason why you're not working in your ideal job right now is you. Honestly, and don't, I'm not speaking down to people, but if you kind of understand the concept of mindset around things, when you start doing things, I want to tell you something. I met Dr. Loubna on, we paid some money to get some training, and we were in a group to network, right? So we were in a group networking, and I met Dr. Loubna, and I said, I'm going to meet you. Pardon?
Exactly. We never stop. We're continuous learners. We have coaches, right? We're coaching tons of people, and we have our own coaches, business coaches, mindset coaches, because everyone needs to keep growing. And that's what we believe in. It's constant growth. And every time we reach a level, we have different challenges, and we need to go through those challenges. So we learn new things and we keep going.
Right. Yeah. So we met in a group, and we realized that we were similar in certain ways, and that we had the energy, and we had the same kind of, like when you surround yourself with people who are uplifting and all that, that's great. So we met in a group, and we decided we were going to do this Friday thing together. And then we started talking, and we figured that we are also going to meet up one day in the States. So next time when we meet up, we're going to probably show some pictures on our Instagram, because that's where we go on
Instagram, right?
On LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a different kind of thing, but if you want to see a little bit in our life, we're on both. But I do post a little bit more about my lifestyle on Instagram, not so much on LinkedIn, because Instagram to me is kind of a little different. I can, I dance a little bit on LinkedIn, but so on my birthday, right? But everything else is up there. But I just wanted to say to you guys today, we want to make sure that you're up leveled in all 5 areas of your life. The physical, right? We're going to address that one day. We're going to address the faith and the family one day, and the fun. But financially, to up level financially, you're either going to have a business or you're going to have a career. The objective is the same. And what we are saying to you, if you're not running your own business, you need to treat your career as a business. You have to have the same type of intentionalism about both. Treat your career as a business. So we come here, we're going to be ending soon, because we only do this for half an hour to an hour. We have almost been here for an hour today, because we thought this was a very, very important topic. Right, Dr. Loubna? So do you know where to find us?
Yes. Thank you so much for being engaged, guys. Thank you.
And I'm going to go out with our little music, because the wisdom people didn't hear my music today because I came in a little late for them. But if you are on YouTube, if you're on Facebook, and if you're on LinkedIn, please find us so that we can talk. And we want to see more of you. We want you to help us. Ask us some questions in the chat so that we can answer your questions right away. And we're going to also have LinkedIn audio going at one point, because the main thing there, LinkedIn, we're also going to stream on Wisdom and also on our other platforms. But at that time, we are going to have our kind of town halls where you can come in and ask us some questions. So until next time, this is Yvonne and Loubna. See you next week.